chosen a casual one and he's chosen the stands and not either of the dugouts.
Yes, he's just going to enjoy the game of cricket.
Yeah.
Akshay Patel, 5 matches for him, including this. And look at that strike rate. 234, 17 sixes in that beautiful batting performance of Akshay Patel.
Pratik Athavale, 220 the strike rate. Strikes very cleanly. 121 runs amassed, and this is the 5th game that he's into. He definitely loves the D10 competitions. Kalimullah. He loves steaming in. He loves intimidating the batters. Right arm fast. It's as if he dares you to write the word medium. 4 inside the circle on the off, 3 inside the circle on the on. He's got a man at a slightly wideish third man. That's because he's trusting the keeper to dive towards his right.
Zaman Qureshi, the umpire, will signal, let's play. And here we go. Kalimullah against Pratik Athavale. Interesting contest. First ball on the pads. And they haven't taken a run. So a dot ball. Kalimullah lucky on that occasion, I would say. Not the best of deliveries. Pratik would have played that, flicked it nicely off the pads, but not so.
Yeah, with fine leg inside the circle, he would have fancied his chances of getting that little deft touch to send it for 4. Wasn't to be today. Akshay Patel's very serious. Pratik's averting a smile though. I think that's because he also has a little bit pain to take care of there. Kalimullah can deliver a heavy ball.
Starts off on the pads yet again. Big appeal from Kalimullah. It was going down leg. He's always very excited as soon as the ball hits the pad. Every time it hits the pad, he feels that he's got his man. A very animated Kalimullah. The umpire says not out.
He's definitely called it a leg bye. There was no bat involved and would have definitely hit the 5th or the 6th or perhaps the 7th. No, 5th or the 6th for sure. Kalimullah knew it as well. He wasn't swinging the ball away from the right, he was swinging it into him.
Well, regardless of whether he knows or not, he will always appeal as soon as the ball hits the pads. A much better shot from Akshay Patel this time. He gets it from the middle of the bat, plays it towards mid-on and scampers through for a single.
Does really well. He's opened the account without wasting any time, Akshay. 2 very busy cricketers, Pratik and Akshay.
Both have complemented each other well, and that has been the key factor for them to perform the way they have. They both enjoy each other's batting and they know each other inside out.
This one hasn't come off. This should be taken. And that's the first wicket. Kalimullah, who usually roars, has acted as if it's all in a day's play.
Well, Pratik taking the attack onto Kalimullah, but hasn't middled it, went high. And Ruwi Rangers are very good fielding side. They don't drop catches. And this time, it's Khalid Kail who was standing there, but Hasnain is the man who took the catch, who completed that catch. And Pratik is walking back after a rare failure, hasn't scored in this game, and that dooms trouble for Amerat Royals. First wicket down. Amerat Royals are 2 for 1.
Two more balls to go here. 2 for 1. Amerat Royals. White ball signal. Kalimullah's got to curtail those deliveries. He's got to re-ball this one. Not much swing, just minimum swing here for Kalimullah with the new ball. But watch out for that extra bounce. Once again, he's concentrating on pitching it up there, trying to make the batter a candidate of LBW. Usually the back of the lane deliveries which rise sharply are the ones that trouble the righties when Kalimullah delivers them perfectly. Too good. Keeper cannot do much. The pace will carry it to the fence. Now he's adjusting the keeper's position. But I'll tell you what, Kalimullah, even if you were the keeper, you weren't tall enough for that one.
That was such a great ball from Kalimullah. Just at the right length, probing Akshay Patel, getting that outside edge of the bat. You should have a slip fielder for somebody like Kalimullah, regardless of what the format is. D10, D20, even if it's 1 over game, you need a slip for Kalimullah.
Yeah, the only reason you need a slip for Kalimullah is because Shoaib knows there cannot be 2 keepers. That was good enough deflection as well. Akshay Patel gets his first boundary. This time it was more deliberate and goes to third man, who does really well. It came quickly to him. And mind you, Naseem's not someone used to fielding without those big gloves on. 1 over gone, 8 for 1.
Well, crowd trickling in at the Oman Cricket Academy. Remember, it's a weekend and I've already requested and appealed all our viewers. Brilliant camera work from our cameraman.
Don't know about other camera persons at the moment. A white ball signaled, but Bijuda would be smiling from ear to ear.
This one is a wide delivery from Hasnain. He's also been a regular feature in this edition of D10. In D20, he was not getting his chances. I remember one of the games he got a chance and he took the Man of the Match award for his bowling. But he was out after that. Hasnain Ali making a mark in this edition of D10.
We're yet to see that pinpoint Yorker once again, isn't it? Can he borrow a leaf out of his D20 book? Swing and a miss. Some movement away from the righty as well. Akshay's going to throw his bat at everything. That's what D10 allows you to do.
Again, no slip there. They haven't scored a boundary from the meat of the bat yet. I would have wanted to see a slip, especially for these bowlers, Kalimullah and Hasnain, who have the ability to move the ball away from the right-handed batsman.
I'll tell you what, you're so itchy, Shoaib. You get that jersey on of Ruwi Rangers.
Oh yes, I cannot hold myself.
Why would you? There's so much swing on offer, isn't it? Oh, but it's swinging the wrong way here. He's got to curtail that swing. Very well kept by the keeper here. Usmani is usually good diving towards his right, but now he shows great reflexes on either side. He's hurt himself a little. Just wants to check it.
Spraying down the leg side, I think trying a little too much, Hasnain.
Shoaib, I'm moving the imaginary slip to imaginary leg slip. Yeah, Shoaib, you go here. This should be taken. This should be taken. This is catch practice. Cannot get easier. Mohit knew it. Didn't have to move an inch. He was standing at the edge of 30-yard circle and the gift was received. Akshay is a huge wicket. Amerat Royals, for the first time in the whole tournament, have realized there are times when the engine room doesn't fire.
Second wicket down, and that's a big wicket of Akshay Patel. Hasnain Ali strikes. Again, not in complete control of the shot. Was not from the middle of the bat. Went high and was there for a long time. A very good catch taken by Mohit to dismiss Akshay. So two big batters and the openers for Amerat Royals are back in the hut. Amerat Royals 10 for 2 now.
Little bit away. So like that.
Ten for 2 in 8 deliveries. Poor delivery once again. Doesn't have enough pace to get there. And Kalimullah is quick enough too. They'll pick up 2 in the process. Hasnain's got to rediscover his best delivery. That's outside off, or the one that swings back in the last moment.
Well, the ball is not swinging as much as he wants it to swing, or as much as he's expecting it to swing, and hence he's releasing it towards the stumps, and it's not coming back. It's continuing its motion, and that's why the ball being sprayed down the leg side more than twice in this over.
Reminds me of yesterday's game. That's it well. And that's gone the distance too. Oh, Karan was ready for it. We were talking about swing, Hasnain pitching it up, but once he didn't, Karan was still ready to camp on the back foot and put it away.
That was a good shot. Read the length of the ball early and was quick to dispatch it over square leg for a 6. So Hasnain is effective when he's bowling the ball closer to the batsman. If you bowl in short, you've got the likes of Karan who are not going to miss out on those.
Swing and a miss. This one was straight. There was late swing. He bowls his heart out, doesn't he? And this was much better delivery.
This is where he needs to bowl. This is what his strength is. He likes to be fuller. That's when the ball moves in the air, and that's when he asks the right questions to the batters. Karan and Shehbaz are under pressure, and Ruwi Rangers would want it to be that way. They would want to keep that pressure on both the batters.
Such good shape, such good seam presentation. In an era where cross-seam deliveries are more ubiquitous, this is a treat to watch indeed. Oh, what swing! There's so much happening with the ball in hand when it's Hasnain releasing it. 2 overs gone, 18 for 2, another unanswered question. Vakar Rao, Asif Al-Balushi, Arsalan giving us a wave just about at the right time. Talk about timing there from Arsalan. Azeba 11, they've just got a game to remember. Now they have a game to enjoy.
It's a nice, pleasant evening here at Oman Cricket Academy with the wind blowing across the ground. If you are here, you wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
I love the way you use the side glance just to see the flags aren't frowning when you talk about the wind.
Meanwhile, talking with the wind is Kalimullah.
Yeah, the flags are up there in full glory. And of course, those mountains making it even more beautiful. The sun's setting, and it's a sight for the sore eyes. What else is a sight for the sore eyes is the man who's running in trying to beat the outside edge or disturb timber.
That's another good ball, good carry. Kalimullah with his height exploiting the conditions. With the wind, the ball is doing a lot more than it normally would. Look at that. Brilliantly done.
It's always a treat for the keeper to collect it at that height, isn't it?
Oh yes, Kalimullah extracting some serious pace off the deck. This time he plays it well. Shehbaz, a misfield, a rare misfield from Ruwi Rangers will result in a single for Amerat Royals.
Kalimullah is not happy. 2 dot balls, and then he wanted to continue to bowl to the same batter. Now he's got to readjust his line and length as a righties on strike. Jitu gets this one. Let's just you can't believe it. It had to be stopped. It cannot be a single. He's not at the edge of the 30-yard circle either. It wasn't hit very hard. Just lets this one slip through. How much of an impact will it have on this game is another question. And this ball should answer most parts.
Another hit and a miss. Karan trying to go for that flashy drive, that cut, in fact.
Good captaincy. 4 deliveries, just 1 single run given away. This was the first one, beating the outside edge. Was there for the drive, not so much. This one, straight to the fielder, misfield and a single taken. Again challenging the outside edge of the bat. Kalimullah has been spot on.
Well, the key has been the length that he's bowling. These are good length deliveries, not easy to play, not easy to score runs. You are not sure whether you want to commit yourself on the front foot or go on the back foot.
Yeah, the last one was of course back of a length delivery.
Well, the sweaters and the overcoats are coming out. A testament that the weather is getting cooler.
And also a humble request to Shoaib in the comm box to let me turn the AC off.
Well, that's not happening. We've got veto here. Majority wins.
Yes, it's been winning for a while. 3 overs gone, 19 for 2 Amerat Royals.
Left arm over. Square.
3 overs gone, 19 for 2. Goose giving us a wave, and the Goose Army does the same. Goose, he's a terrific cricketer indeed. In D20, come D10, he says, youngsters, take charge. I can't start hitting the ball a long way from the first delivery.
Jiten Kumar Ramanandi is the bowler, and he's been brought in with one mission: to take wickets.
It's that nagging length once again. He's the beauty about Jiten Kumar Ramanandi's bowling is that it's predictable yet very, very effective.
Well, he's not the quickest in that Ruwi Rangers bowling setup, but definitely one of the most consistent bowlers, smart thinking bowler, and his superpower is that he can mix things up really nicely. The slower ball is definitely one that you should look out for.
3 on the offside, inside the circle, and on the on, 3 guarding the ropes. Long ons very wide, man at deep mid wicket, and of course just in front of square in the deep, another fielder lurking. This could mean catch. This could mean trouble. Put down. Shafqat is the culprit. Jiten Kumar doesn't want to look at the fielder at this moment, and neither does Shafqat want to look at Jiten.
That was a catch that should have been taken. Ruwi Rangers, we spoke so highly about their fielding, and here we see a drop catch. Sometimes I wonder whether I should be talking anything nice about anyone at all. Ruwi Rangers, we spoke so highly again. That fielding was so impeccable all throughout the tournament. But here we see a sitter being dropped.
Quick single here. Jiten Kumar Ramanandi doesn't want to rely on any fielders this time round. 3 balls, 3 singles, Shoaib.
And this has been a good start from Jiten Kumar. He's been very effective And when you mix it up, it gets even more difficult. The slower deliveries, the quicker ones. He's got a very good Yorker as well.
Slower delivery, yes it is. The lights have also come on as that shot was played. Naseem getting a taste of what it means to throw to the keeper. 4 balls, 4 singles, Shoaib. This over is done really, really well.
Interesting to see Naseem Khushi not keeping behind the wickets. Normally he's behind the stumps.
And he's a senior keeper too. Didn't get hold of this one. Will this catch be taken? Fielder getting underneath, puts it down. Mohit is the culprit this time round. Jiten Kumar Ramanandi cannot believe it.
Well, I cannot believe it. Mohit dropping a catch, as simple as it can get. These are catches that you practice day in, day out. Nothing extraordinary. Ball coming into your hands and there you go, popping. The only problem with that attempt was he was trying to catch it in front of his eyes.
Don't bother catching this one. You can if it's in the other ground that you're practicing. Karan has had enough of singles in this over. What a way to finish. 4 overs gone, 30 for 2.
कटन हुआ नहीं येलो बॉल कटन हुआ नहीं चलो भाई
30 for 2 in 4 overs. Karan Sonavle getting a 6 of the last ball of the previous over to get some momentum. Lot of batting to come. Rafiullah, Hemal Tandale, Utkarsh Sahu has been drafted into the side today, and Vinayak Shukla has already sent a statement to all teams in this tournament that he can bat. Sanut Ibrahim, the captain of the side, the only bowler who has a sit-up at the start of a run-up.
4 overs, 30 for 2, and then you've got Sanad Ibrahim. Last ball of the last over was tonked and hit nice and clean into that Oman Cricket Academy building. Karan has a role to play. He's the skipper. He has to lead from the front and make sure that they reach a decent total. Amerat Royals are not going to go down without a fight. Yes, they've lost 2 wickets, but they're also the unbeaten side in the tournament for a reason. They've got a good balance, a good combination. The pressure is on Ruwi Rangers, and they know as a side they'll have to do really well. Drop catches are not going to help Ruwi Rangers.
You talked about the combination, Shoaib. To be honest, they have definitely found a combination for D10 here, Amerat Royals. So much so that they're very well placed in the points table. They're allowing themselves the license to experiment with their combination. They've drafted Utkarsh Sahu and many young cricketers. Oh, that's a clean hit. Slightly short, and Sanut knew immediately he's committed a mistake.
Well, it's a sin to be bowling that length, especially to someone like Karan, who quickly rocks on to the back foot and then smacks it. Look at that. Through the kitchen sink at it. And the ball has travelled and gone the distance. Half a dozen more for Karan. He's looking good and strong, and he's looking very focused.
Captain to his counterpart. Targets the same area, doesn't get the elevation. This time a good catch from Hasnain. Sanut Ibrahim with thumbs up suggesting, now that's how a wicket is taken. What a comeback.
Well, a good comeback indeed from Ruwi Rangers. They've got the big man. Karan Sonavle has to walk back, the skipper. Not the greatest of shot selection. From outside off, he's trying to play that towards the onside. Should have played it straight down the ground. hasn't got the distance. And a very good catch from Hasnain. Karan Sunavle walking back after scoring 21 of just 13 deliveries. Amerat Royals in a spot of bother. 39 for 3 now. Sanat continues. Shehbaz now will have to play the role of the big brother in the partnership. As in comes Rafiullah, the new man in. A single to end the over, successful over for Ruwi Rangers. They've got the wicket of the captain of Amerat Royals, Karan Sunavle. Amerat Royals are 40 for 3.
Five overs gone, 40 for 3. The crowd's building up, and some of them are bringing their own chairs as that's tested for comfort. This could be out, and Rafiullah knows. Rafiullah, without facing a delivery, might have been caught short over here. And if a tall lad like Rafiullah cannot reach with full stretch, then it wasn't a single in the first place. There was a little stutter, but Rafiullah insisted that he can get there in time. Jiten Kumar Ramanandi on the move and gets it right. Out by a big distance. Rafiullah departs without troubling the scorers. The red light will blink.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you,
Rafi
Freddie.
goes without adding anything to the tally and without facing a delivery either. 4 gone for 40 on the board.
Let's it off. Only left arm off. Fight it up.
5.1, 40 for 4. The hero from the last game, Vinayak, has come out to bat now. 223.53 the strike rate. Add another column called discipline and the fact that he believes in himself, belief as well. Those will be over 100 too. Changing voices up here in comms as Vinayak Shukla opens his account. Direct hit and would have been a goner for sure. Now are they coming back for the second? Second was unchallenged. The first was challenged. Changing voices here. Mikhail Vaswani, we've got for you along with Mr. Ashok Purohit to take you through the next 5.
Thank you very much, Suhas. Another close shave there. Shayad the stumps. A direct hit would have just had people interested in an appeal as well. Khalid Kale with that fielding. Oh, it would have been another batsman walking back to the dugout. The backing up as well was not up to the mark. So Amerat Royals just found themselves in a little bit of a problem. Remember, slow one this time. They have experimented today. They're well and truly into the top 4, and they have new players and new additions, and have someone new for company as well in the com box. Ashok Purohit, good evening.
Very good evening, Mikhail. Some fantastic fielding and some sloppy too. A mixed bag so far. Drop catches. Jiten Kumar. Batter is not yet ready. Umpire signals a dead ball. Jiten has to go back to his mark.
A lot of hard work to do from here on for Amerat Royals. They're still to drop a game in this tournament. They've looked so good But today, it's been a very, very different outing for them. Indifferent, rather. Looks to play that towards the mid-wicket region. Will settle for a single. Shahbaz has looked good, but he's taken time. Vinayak.
What an innings. Last ball 6. Jiten back. And this time he goes for a big one. Ball fortunately lands in no man's land. Just a single there. Amerat Royals struggling to pick up quick runs. That's a beautiful sunset over Hajar Mountains in Amerat. This is the beautiful setting we have at Amerat Cricket Academy ground.
From real lights to artificial lights. Ashok, you're giving us a completely descriptive feeling of this place. Not surprised at all for someone who spent a lot of time in Oman. It's 6 overs gone, it's 46 for 4.
Good.
One of the many reasons, Mikhail, I've managed to enjoy these sunsets over many decades.
It's the switch hit on offer, but that'll be a wide. Sanut Ibrahim today has not been the kind of bowler he's so far been in the tournament. Well, we're seeing all kinds of conditions. The sun dipping. The batting performance has dipped as well for Amerat Royals.
Quite true.
Ashok.
Not as bright as the afternoon sun. The sunset setting exactly what Amerat Royals are facing. The setting going down. 48 for 4. Vinayak needs to play one of a big innings over here. Having seen his senior and informed partners Akshay, Prateek back in the dugout. Sanut Ibrahim leading from the front. This time goes for a wild hit and the catch to be taken, and it's a brilliant catch there. What a catch by Hanan. That's a wonderful catch.
Oh yes, he had to come in running. He had to cover a lot of distance. Remember, this is a twilight zone. The lights can also come into your eyes. But he did very well. Didn't quite connect this one. May have got a leading edge as well. But he had to come in a long way into the 30-yard circle, almost at the edge of it. Kept his eyes on the ball and took a very good catch. And this means the hero from last game does not make an impact this time around. He departs for 4, trying to go for glory. It's 48 for 5. We are witnessing some absolutely wonderful sights here, courtesy our camera persons who are capturing nature at its very best. Nicely played towards mid-wicket. A lot of power behind that by 6, the two fielders who are positioned in the deep, and that's a much needed 4. And in the process, Amerat Royals also get to their 50. This time coming in the 7th over. It's been a slow start for them. They've lost half their side, but they are fighting on.
They would need quite a few of these fours in the next few overs to put up a total to defend.
From where did he construct that shot? He completely switched over to a different side, was aiming to play it behind the wicket and plays it towards mid-wicket. You talk about being innovative with shots. This was completely a shot that's never really there in the cricket almanac.
Quite a cheeky one. Sparsh, the new batter, Sparsh Tiwari. making a debut in the D10 for Amerat Royals. This time goes for a big one, connects it properly and beats the fielder there. Another boundary, 2 boundaries already in the over. This is possibly the over which Amerat Royals would like to increase the run rate.
Oh yes, this is a very good over here for Amerat Royals. Sanat Ibrahim proving costly. 2 fours in this over. Sparsh off the mark with a 4 down the ground. And Amerat Royals are just fighting on to put on a very strong total on top. Short and wide this time. He's cut that away. Protection in the deep. They'll have to settle for a single. So as many as 12 runs coming off it. Amerat Royals won't be complaining. 7 gone, 18 deliveries left. It's 58 for 5.
Disappointing batting card there. Karan Sonawale, the top scorer with 21. Shahbaz Anwar unbeaten on 15. The rest of the batters in single digits. 58 for 5. Kalimullah Hasnain and Sanut Ibrahim picking up wickets. Sanut 2 for 22. A bit costly but picked up 2 wickets.
Going by T10 standards, he's done a fabulous job of conceding only 11 and picking 2. But going by his standards, he would have felt that he could have done better. Nevertheless, Ruwi Rangers all over Amerat Royals at the moment. And in comes Hasnain. I call him the underrated bowler in this tournament because time and again he's got the ball to talk, but he's never found that much mention when compared to the likes of the other pacers in the side. But he's been very effective and he's always struck very early in his spell.
He did. Even today he picked up an early wicket. Hasnain conceded just 8 in his opening spell, including a wicket there.
Sparsh has come out with some intent. Oh, that almost breached his defense and could have easily crashed onto the stumps, but that's what Hasnain brings to the table. Right underneath the bat in a second spell, very first delivery. That's the discipline he brings, just like his approach and attitude.
Absolutely true, Mikhail. Sparsh almost beaten there. Lucky to be there at the crease. Manages to dig out that. On the other end, Shahbaz would need to play some big hits. Time running out, just less than 3 overs in play left. Hasnain coming from the Oman LNG end.
17 deliveries left. Royals need a royal outing. Goes big, tonks that towards the mid-wicket region, but there will be protection. They'll have to settle for a 1. Intentions are clear, execution is missing. New players, as many as 4 changes for Royals. They believe they've qualified, they need to experiment. But do you feel that sometimes sticking to a winning combination to keep the winning momentum is important?
This is also a format, Mikhail, wherein it's new to the players, so I think the management is quite correct in giving chances to the youngsters. They would like to have an outing, having been already assured of a top 4.
That was an ambitious appeal. All 3 stumps were exposed. They could be seen and it was just straying down the leg side. Hasnain is generating pace. Beat Sparsh this time. For that extra pace he generated. Got on the full this time. Couldn't quite flick it. Bowlers like appealing, Ashok.
Absolutely. And these singles won't trouble Ruwi Rangers. They are okay with conceding singles. Amerat Royals struggling here, 61 for 5. This time a slower ball, picked up well. connects it, but there's a fielder at the boundary, just a single, and Amerat Royals inching towards not a great total, 62 for 5 after 7.4.
Oh yes, Amerat Royals have made some changes, as many as 4, but just a few days back this is the same team that got to 175 for 4 in their 10 overs, and today they are reeling at 62 for 5 in the 8th. Now this is what the T10 format can do, and this is how quickly the game can change situations. The great leveler, as they call it.
Quite true, Mikhail. Hasnain got a nice stride, and this time goes for a scoop, a lap shot, and connects it well, but only 2 runs.
Yes, he got into position very quickly this time around, Sparsh, but the execution was missing. Don't think so. He may have got it the way he intended to. We'll just take a look at it once again. It was very nice placement. Oh yes, he also got the middle of the bat, just that the ball didn't carry to the ropes. So Sparsh has walked in and played some very fine hits in the middle. He's showing a lot of intensity with the bat.
He has manufactured quite a couple of good shots here. A slow ball, and it's bowled. That's what Hasnain brings in. A smarter delivery, slow one, foxes the batter. Sparsh misses it completely and is clean bowled.
Oh yes, give him the new ball, he'll get you a wicket. Bring him in the second spell, he'll bowl a slow one, back of the hand delivery, and fox the batsman and castle him as well. That's Hasnain for you. This time Sparsh playing too early, not able to pick the slow one, and the intelligence of a very smart customer called Hasnain gets the better of Sparsh. He walks back for 8 and 6. After 8, it's 64 for the loss of 6 wickets.
The bowling change here. Wasim Ali, the left arm orthodox spinner, bowls the first one, but straight to the fielder here.
Yes, Hemal Tandel is the new man in. Now that's quite a height from where everybody views their cricket, let me tell you. We are on the 5th floor and we have a bird's eye view of what's happening from the comm box. Hemal Tandel meanwhile so impressive with the new ball. I'm sure he'll want to use the long handle. Wasim Ali has just been introduced into the attack. Flatter this time, quicker this time, going with the arm.
That's a beautiful delivery by Wasim. He understands that the batters would be going for the big one. Bowls it fast. Beats the batter. Hemal.
You miss, I hit. One too many here for Hemal. Playing across the line. Again, it was a straighter delivery with the arm. And it was just a matter of time before Tandel would perish in his bid to accelerate. Very smart bowling by Wasim. And a wonderful bowling effort so far by Ruwi Rangers. This was quicker once again, flatter. Looked like more of a seam-up delivery. And Hemal Tandel was just teeing off in a golfing green. He departs without doing much with the score. It's 65 for 7.
ऐसे ही बस बस हंसने ना बस बस मिडिल
2 quick wickets. Amerat Royals tottering at 65 for 7. The new batter Kafidun Nabi Siddiqui. He'll be facing a left arm bowler in Wasim, who has picked up a wicket after conceding just 1 run. Pulls a bit shorter this time. Kafid off to the mark with a single.
Ruwi Rangers may have lost one game in their 4 outings, but once again they are showing why they are one of the most dangerous sides. This has been a very strong bowling performance by them. Again flatter, he's picked it up over the bowler's head. Will have to settle for a single.
The ball is coming slower, so they are not able to connect it, Mikhail. They want to go for the big hits. Miscuing. Running singles is the only option right now for them with such shots.
This time goes big. The noise certainly suggested he never got much bat on that. It's a very soft dismissal. Wasim is making merry. 2 wickets for him in this over, and he's conceded only 3 runs. This has been a top bowling effort by him. He's got the wickets of Kafid and Hemal Tandel, and he's practically ended their batting in the middle. This got the toe end of the bat and a simple catch.
Very good bowling there by Wasim. Has been slower in the air at times and has been faster when needed. Khafidun Nabi back to the dugout for 1. Amerat Royal 67 for 8 in the 9th over.
Copy that, 78. Left hand round across. Left hand round across.
Heap of wickets falling. 67 for 8. Last over in progress. A shorter ball. Doesn't get the connect. Just a single there. These singles are definitely not going to trouble Ruwi Rangers. Amerat Royals 68 for 8 with 5 balls to spare. Mohit, the new bowler. Utkarsh is the new batter. Goes for a big one, misses it. There's an appeal for stumping. Referred to the third umpire.
Now Usmani, for the longest time of that stumping, believes that he's got his man at a time when he may have lifted his foot, and that's where he must have dislodged the bails. He was insisting, the square leg umpire, Mujahid, to refer it upstairs. Now this will be a very close call. Okay, he did go for that big expansive swipe, but very nice take as well behind the gloves. Now this is what we are talking. He's very sure he's got him, and this is very smart work by Usmani. Very intelligent work. This is what you call presence of mind, awareness of when the foot could be lifted and when the bails need to be dislodged. This is street smart cricket.
Absolutely. What a presence of mind there by Usmani.
Don't be surprised if the red light flashes, but it's green. Then the third umpire believes that the batter was inside and his foot was plonked.
Quite a close call there, Mikhail. Runs dried up here. This time goes for a big one. Does he get the player? Yes, he has found a player. Wasim picks up the catch. Very easy picking for Wasim. Mohit strikes of the first over. And Amerat Royals are 9 down for 68.
I'll tell you what, he may have survived the stumping, the close call, but soon after that he gifts the wicket back to the bowler, saying you deserve it rather, and Wasim Ali with a straightforward catch at long on. Amerat Royals' innings has fallen apart. Their 9th wicket goes in the 9th over. It's 68 for 9. Utkarsh Sahu goes back without scoring. Single towards backward point. Just a matter of time before we conclude the innings of Amerat Royals.
Very disappointing batting there by Amerat Royal batters.
Only left hand round.
Wickets fell like a pack of cards. Two more balls. Mohit 1 for 1. Vinay Khandelwal, the right hand batter.
That's the story. It's all over here for Amerat Royals. They've walked in and walked out in a matter of time. They've hardly shown any application or any plan to this innings of theirs. All 10 wickets fall in 59 deliveries and they score only 69 runs. The story for them has been one of mixed bag in the D10. They got to 175 in the previous game. They won a last ball thriller, and today while batting first, they've managed only 69 and they've all been dismissed in 59 deliveries. Another very fine spell by Mohit Patel as he castles the final wicket.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the story. Players, batters coming in, going out. No big partnership being stitched throughout the 10 overs. And that's one of the reasons why they are just been able to make only 69. Karan Sonawale, the top scorer with 21. Shahbaz Anwar not out on 20. Rest all of them in single digits. 0, 6, 0, 4, 8, 0, 1, 0, 0.
Whom are you calling, Ashok? That looked like a mobile number. Kalimullah began well. 2 overs, 8 runs, 1 wicket. Pick up the bowlers with the new ball. Hasnain as well. 2 for 13. Ever impressive. Jitin Kumar Ramanandi, 17 runs in his 2 overs. 22 in his 2 overs for Ibrahim with 2 wickets as well. Wasim Ali in 1 over got 2 wickets and pretty much ended what was looking like a very hapless batting performance. And Mohit Patel then got 2 wickets in his 5 deliveries. So it's been that kind of a bowling performance that will really exude a lot of confidence in the dugout.
They started off well. Amerat Royals went for a big one, but then they were early wickets. Hasnain striking. That was a good shot from Akshay, but he's caught there. Then Jitain came into attack and some lusty hits across the park. This was one of the biggest hits. Sanut Ibrahim then brought the proceedings under control. Picked up few wickets despite going for some runs. Ruwi Rangers need 70 runs in 10 overs.
It looks a straightforward chase. We'll get you all the action on the other side of a very short break.
Very good evening. We are watching match number 18 between Amerat and Ruwi Rangers. The SkyChange.net presents fan code Oman D10. Ruwi Rangers did well to restrict Amerat Royals for just 69. Karan Sonawale, the top scorer with 21. Shahbaz Anwar unbeaten on 20. Rest of the batters in single digits. All the batters back in the dugout in 59 deliveries. Very good evening, Suhas.
Good evening, Mr. Ashok. Good evening, everyone watching as well. Kalimullah with the ball in hand for Ruwi Rangers picked up a wicket. Hasnain Ali picked up 2. Sanat Ibrahim, Wasim Ali and Mohit Patel 2 apiece. And what a catch that was from Mohit Patel as well. Bowling an opposition out within 10 overs is not easy, even though the batters will always be coming after them. This is great stuff from Ruwi Rangers. Let's have a look at what transpired in the first innings when Amerat Royals had the bat in hand. Straight up it went. Early wickets became slightly troublesome for Amerat Royals. They couldn't get going. Yes, there were a couple of drop chances as well, Mr. Ashok, but one would feel Amerat Royals today looked off colour because the engine room did not fire and the middle order wasn't tested enough.
Quite true. The early departure of Akshay and Prateek did make matters worse for the Amerat Royals. There were few good catches and there were some excellent ground fielding. Clean bowled by Hasnain. Some big shots being tried, hits and miss. This one was a good hit, but straight to the player. Wasim Ali there.
"70 runs in 60 balls it's going to be not a very tough target, but early wickets are the key here for Amerat Royals. What do you feel?"
Yes, absolutely. Early wickets definitely would be the key in the game. Ruwi Rangers need 70 runs to win in 10 overs. Amerat Royals do have the arsenal, do have the bowlers like Hemal, Kumar, Tandil to get the early breakthroughs.
Yes, and there's a bit of spin as well on this track that we've seen, especially from someone like Mohit, who was ready to fire it in and at the same time give it loop when the batter is least expecting it. Those are the deliveries which will cause trouble to Ruwi Rangers as well if Amerat Royals can learn from it.
Yeah, they have Rafiullah in the ranks in the pace attack and among the spinners.
Yes, so 70 required for them. These are the standings for the Amerat Royals after 4 games, are sitting pretty at top with 8 points for them. And look at the net run rate as well. That's what keeps them way ahead of Ruwi Rangers, who've done really well to pick up 6 points in their 4 games. Kurum Thunders, Boshel Busters, Azeba 11, all of them have 6 points apiece. But what differentiates between them is the net run rate. So they've got to do really well in considering the last column as well. Gubra Giants, Lasset Titans and Khoer Warriors, they need a Herculean task to even be there in this tournament, stay alive. Out come the 2 umpires now. 70 is the target for Ruwi Rangers. It's not a very daunting one, but you never know, Mr. Ashok. Early wickets and we can have a great game on our hands.
Quite true, Suhas. These type of targets at times are tricky. Smaller targets tend to get the best of the bowling attack. They fire in all cylinders, so it would be key if they can break through early.
Yes, one of those discussions in that huddle would be early wickets. Out come the 2 batters for Ruwi Rangers. Shafqat. Shafqat's in great touch. Would be interesting to watch Would be interesting to know why Sanat Ibrahim decided not to open today.
This has been a practice by a lot of the teams over here. They have been changing the combinations. In T10, they are trying out few of the options ahead of the last 4 rounds.
Hanan will open the batting with Shafkat. That means Ruby Rangers have decided to let the skipper come in later on. Hanan in 2 games in D10, that strike rate is soaring, 253.3. He's already showed what 6 hitting means with 3 of the balls clearing defence with ease. Shafkat is the other man in, strike rate over 200. 4 sixes already struck from the middle of the bat for Shafkatullah. And watch out for the one that goes inside out over covers.
Both the batters having an impressive strike rate. So they would be looking for some quick runs to put pressure on Amerat Royals, who are already under pressure after just managing 69.
Unreal economy. 6.14 for Hamilton Dale in a D10 competition tells you how good he is at learning from his mistakes as well when he makes one. Very effective. And a slip in place. A slip in place for the first time in D10 competition in all these days, with the ball swinging more than it usually did throughout the tournament. A slip has been granted to Hamilton Dale. The umpire says we're almost ready. We'll wait for a signal. And play signalled. Hamilton Dale running in first ball. 70 required for Ruby Rangers. The chase is on. From the middle of the bat. Outfield, not his best friend at the moment, will pick up 2.
That's positive intent. 2 quick runs there. Good running between the wicket. Hanan went for the big one. Bet the infield. Picked up 2 runs.
He was deep inside the crease as well, isn't it? So had to cover that extra yard if he wants to take the second run. But because it's the first 2 overs and only 2 are allowed outside the 30-yard circle, once the ball crosses the 30-yard circle, the second run can be on. Wants 2 again. Didn't middle it this time around, but it's in the gap nonetheless. Wasting no deliveries there, Hanan.
That's good running between the wickets between Hanan and Shafakut. Hanan continues to take the strike.
I tell you what, Shafkat is the big hitter, of course, but he's quite warmed up after taking 2 more.
Indeed, he's waiting for his strike.
More protection on the offside inside the circle now. Rafiullah has been called for his services inside the circle on the off at extra cover. Work to do, cannot get there. The nearest fielder was miles away. Unlucky Hamel here, despite troubling the batter. The results in Hanan's favour.
Yeah, that was a better ball from Hamel. Edge, and that considered a boundary.
The idea was to go leg side. I think he closed the face of the bat too early. And the slip once upon a time existed. Now the slip had faded away.
Had there been a slip, it would have been a simple catch.
It was there all throughout. But when it was required, it wasn't. Our captain will make note of that for sure. They need wickets over here. 70 is not going to be a total where you can curtail the opposition like Ruby Rangers. Wickets are the order of the day. And if you're looking for wickets, you've got to be a little bit more aggressive, especially early on, because then you can dictate terms with momentum on your side.
They started with that attacking intent, bringing the slip. But for some reasons, he pulled back the slip to the third man. And that's the reason why chance has gone a begging.
Chance has indeed gone begging. Hamilton Dale, seam up, generating some swing as well, and movement off the deck. White ball signaled. Could have kept it in. Shafkat, this is the first delivery that he was facing.
Yes, and extras are not going to help them. Defending just 69. 10 runs already conceded in Hamel's first over. Shafkat on strike.
They wanted a better start than this, Amerat Royals with the ball in hand. They definitely wanted a better start than this.
Yes. Better ball this time from Hamel. A dot ball. Nice ball to end the over. Ruby Rangers 10 without loss after the completion of 1 over.
One more ball to go. Remember, there was a wide delivery. Goose Army and Goose himself. Come the D10 format, Goose is cheering for his side. The D20, he plays.
Yeah, that wide ball was what I missed. One more ball.
Where's this one going to be? Outside of Yorker length, same fielder kept busy at covers.
Same result, a dot ball. 10 for no loss after the end of 1 over. With the Gulf Cup for women's scheduled to begin in a couple of days, it's great to see women supporters out in the stands.
She's just realized she's on the big screen and those smiles tell you. Rafiullah has been introduced into the attack. And the early wickets. Early wickets.
5 wickets.
Rafiullah would be the one to provide. Would he be the one?
Yeah, with the economy of 8.14, he's picked up wickets. Rafi. This time a good ball, but it's been cleanly hit. That's a boundary. Gets into the line and takes the ball on the full length, dispatches it over to the side screen for a much needed boundary.
Fabulous hitting this from Hanan. Slightly over pitch and Hanan pounces on it. Straight as an arrow. Really no chance for any fielder. One bounce and hides behind the side screen.
That puts a lot of pressure onto the bowler when you hit him off the first ball.
Now for Hanan, he's got a ring on the offside. Slower delivery this time around. Hanan is quite content tapping it away and picking up a single because the target's not daunting and he's got an early boundary.
That's smart batting. Not going after the bowler. Ball after ball. Give due respect to the ball.
Absolutely, the target is such that a boundary ball every over would do. Other deliveries, if you can nudge it around, pick up singles, slightly convert them into two when the opportunity arises, you're all set.
That's exactly what they have been doing. Picking up singles.
Crossing. Bit of late swing as well.
Rafi just conceded 5 runs, including a boundary.
It's a huge swing there indeed. But that was well within the rights of the bowler to deliver that, isn't it? It wasn't a wide. The ball is absolutely legal. Shafkat, after 3 deliveries, is searching for the one that gets him off the mark. This was Yorker full, but slightly leg side for his liking.
Yeah, but picks up the single to get off the strike. Ruwi Rangers 16. Rafiullah looking for the wicket. Much needed breakthrough over here.
Absolutely. Much needed, as you said. 10 deliveries, 16 runs have been scored. This was the one that had to tail back in a little bit to make him a candidate of LBW. In the end, he was able to offer some bat to it, and leg side made it even simple. Another cross seam delivery coming up though.
No ball. No.
We'll wait for the umpire's signal here. I think he's disturbed furniture of the non-strikers end. The ball of no ball signal. Free hit it is. Umpire Vinod Babu.
Yeah.
This is not going to help.
Oh, he's actually hit this with his leg. His front leg has hit the stumps. This is the first time I've seen a front leg hit the stumps. That means the front leg's coming across. How much pressure is he putting on himself when he lands then? Swing and a miss, a huge swing. But he survives. Rafiullah has survived the free hit. Hanan wanted to throw everything at it. He was eyeing the Oman Cricket Academy building.
That was a good delivery by Rafiullah. Didn't give much of a chance with the pace.
It was a very risky delivery, I tell you, especially for a free hit. Hanan sitting deep inside the crease to send it sailing. This is incredible cricket. He's read Rafi's intentions of bowling a Yorker, and Rafi misses his mark. Hanan doesn't miss out on the opportunity. Now I think we need to retrieve the ball. He's super excited to hold that leather ball compared to the Costco one that he was playing with. 2 overs gone, 23 for no loss. Two overs gone, 23 for no loss. Mr. Vinu loves the Ruby Rangers, loves the Amerat Royals as well.
That's the
He's
reason.
decided to choose a shirt which doesn't reflect the colors of both the team today. Both the teams. Oh, it's gone through. It's hit the helmet as well. Dead ball signaled. Dead ball signaled. Did it hit that protective equipment? Looks like it did. 5 granted. 5 runs granted as penalty as it is hit the helmet. Exactly what Hemal Tandil did not want to concede. Amerat Royals are searching for a wicket over here, especially when the target is shrunken. These are freebies for Ruby Rangers, hitting the helmet on the flush.
Not going to help the cause for Amerat Royals. Conceding 5 penalty runs there.
Amerat Royals are not only searching for a wicket over here, they're also searching for luck. That'll be 4. Hemal has missed his mark. Hanan's making run scoring look very, very easy at the moment.
That's poor bowling by Hemal. They understand that they have got a very small target to defend, and then bowling wayward doesn't help them.
So the first ball of the over that's counted goes for 4. 9 runs of the over and 1 ball has been bowled. Mind you, those penalty runs were given off a ball that was considered dead ball. Swing and a miss. Where was this delivery hiding first up?
This was a better ball. Put it in corridor of uncertainty. Going for a big one, Shafaqatullah. Fans there in the stands, keeping a close eye on the proceedings. Khalid Kale, Wasim Ali looking for their turn, whether they would be able to really be coming to the pitch.
Khalid Kale's in tremendous touch, but wouldn't mind seeing his peers finish this one off. That's in the air and put down. Vinayak could have taken that 9 out of 10 times. Hemal was desperately looking for an opportunity to pick up a wicket. His side desperately needed this catch to go in and stay in. Hits his palm, pops out, and second chance is always difficult because the body weight takes you away from that ball. This should have been taken given the situation even more so. Ruby Rangers 33 for no loss. Almost half the runs knocked off. A poor delivery. He's just helped it on its way. This ball's a new tourist to Amerat. Hanan's just showed it away to the boundary rope.
Poor bowling there by Hemal. A costly catch there, and then followed by a wayward ball. 19 conceded already. 2 more balls for Hemal to bowl. This is way down the leg side. Just guides it for a boundary.
Hemal Tandil first went down the leg side for for Shafqat. He was able to put that away for 4. Then protection was brought in the shape of a deep backward square, slightly turning into a fine leg. Now he's bowled another poor delivery which went for 4. He'll comfortably take a single, no risk required here for Hanan. He knows a couple of boundaries have come off this over apart from the penalty 5. This is a big over for Ruwi Rangers.
Ruwi Rangers, in fact, racing towards the victory target.
And it's a very even pull over indeed. Had Vinayak taken that catch, then the equation would have shifted slightly. Some momentum to Amerat would have been provided. You could see frustration dripping from the faces of Amerat Royals. They're quite relaxed because they know the scorecard's reading a story they want to read. 3 overs gone, 38 for no loss. Hafid has been given the ball now again.
They took the power play.
And the batters have decided to take the power play over as this one. Remember, first 2 overs are power play overs, then the batters are allowed to take a power play over for 1 over. They've decided to take that one as the third one so that they continue the assault. They have the momentum, both the batters, and they're looking set. Why not this over?
Kafid is an interesting choice. Coming in to bowl his left arm orthodox. A spinner with Hanan and Shafqat in good form.
I still feel he'll go straight down, and he does. No chance for the fielders. He's hitting them nicely, crisply, and very long.
Yes, indeed, it was a very clean hit. No stopping that shot. Maximum, and 6 more runs to the kitty.
Transfer of weight, so good. And he generates a lot of power. Stays put and hits it away. He's a stand and deliver kind of a player, Hanan. One way or the other, very effective. And in this format, he is proving to be king. Straight to the fielder this time round. Karan's got not 1, not 2, but 3 caps on.
A Ray dot ball.
Inside out. Will it be taken? No. I think for a moment Akshay was a little confused if Vinayak's going for it. Then Akshay did go for it in the end, but by that time the ball was grasped.
Confusion there. Only adding to the misery.
This
of
should have
Amerat
been
Royals.
taken.
Yeah, this was a catch to be taken. And there's a confusion between the two fielders.
Was
This
it the
time-
lack of confidence from the previous drop as well? This is plonking itself after pitching. Didn't go the distance for 4. But frustrating runs these for Amerat Royals. Opportunities are going down.
Kafid bowls this time, and it's been hit cleanly over the cow corner. That's a huge 6.
Mr. Matthews helping with the fielding there. He always can once it crosses the boundary rope. This was struck crisply once again. It was an interesting choice to be bowling Hafid at this juncture of the game, and Amerat Royals are learning that the hard way. Last ball coming up, 2 sixes in the over already. He's looking for 2 here. He's called for 2. Might even get more. That's good fielding by Rafiullah, and 2 easy runs. 2 for the shot itself. 4 overs gone. Ruwi Rangers cruising at 55 for no loss.
Rafi. Rafi point कर Rafi तू point कर Rafi. रहने दे आजा.
Ruwi Rangers in driver's seat, require 15 of 36. Shafkat going strong on 16. Hanan on 14 ball 32. What a striker of the ball Hanan is.
Something in me tells he's trying to finish this game off quickly. Perhaps this and the next over, because now's the time they can start to think about the net run rate column as well.
That would be key. In fact, they are looking to race to the victory target to give a boost to the net run rate. Amerat Royals and Ruwi Rangers, the two teams at the top two position. Amerat Royals staring at the first defeat of the tournament. They won 4 in 4. Ruwi Rangers would get the victory after the only loss in the 4 games.
Absolutely. Shafkat, meanwhile, a swing and a miss. This time he just cut back in so sharply. Shafkat was backing away to create room. The bowler trying to suffocate Shafkat by the lack of it.
This time Shafkat goes big. And that's a huge 6. Ruwi Rangers absolutely racing towards the victory margin.
Runs required in single digits. He knew it was 6 the moment it left his bat. Now that was travelling a long way and might even take a little bit more time to retrieve the ball. That's the margin of error when you're bowling to Shafkat. He's such a strong lad, especially when he rocks back on the back foot.
Stunning shot. One of the best of the evening.
Undoubtedly, Mr. Ashok. He very quickly recognizes the opportunity to score that 6 as well, because he recognizes length early.
Ruwi Rangers have been ruthless. They've been ruthless in the chase. That's Gustav Berger with his family and friends enjoying the game.
Couple of balls to go in this over. The idea is to finish the game off in this over as far as Shafkat's concerned. No, not to be actually. 7 required of 31 balls. The balls required suddenly become redundant because this has been pure carnage from Ruwi Rangers. They've come out with positive intent and they are on the cusp of what would be a very famous win for them, beating the table toppers single-handedly.
Absolutely. The batters have backed the bowlers. The bowlers did the job fantastically, restricting them to 69. End of over 5. Ruwi Rangers are 63 for no loss.
Hanan Riznan and Shafkatullah came out to bat and they're still out there. And now they're considering finishing the game off all by themselves. What a dominating performance with the bat in hand for Ruwi Rangers. 33 of 16 for Hanan. Shafkatullah 23 of 15. Both of them going great guns. 7 required for victory here. Rafiullah will bowl his second. And that's from the meat of the bat. And will take some time to retrieve once again. We wait. No ball given, and 7 were required for victory. Seven was required. 7 it is. Victory here for the Ruwi Rangers, and they've completed it. As this ball isn't counted, they've completed it in 5 overs. This will do a world of good to their net run rate. A 10-over chase curtailed to a 5-over chase, courtesy these two batters. Hanan and Shafkat take a bow.
Absolute dominating performances by Ruwi Rangers openers. They backed the bowlers and reached the target in just 5 overs. What a fantastic innings by both the batters, Shafkat and Hanan. Hanan Riznan.
Fabulous victory indeed for Ruby Rangers. They've done it with a stamp of authority against a team which was topping the table, which was toppling every other opposition. Ruby Rangers stood in their way for 2 more points and they couldn't conquer Ruby Rangers. They came out with a plan, the Ruby Rangers, and they've ticked all boxes with a game of this kind.
A very fantastic victory for Ruby Rangers. They now join Amerat Royals at the top with 8 points. Of course, we have to see the net run rate. Yes. But this net score of achieving 70 in just 5 overs would have definitely done a world of good, given a big boost to NRR.
What's been great to watch is the positivity with which they've played this game, Ruby Rangers. After losing the toss, they never lost hope. They were quite content chasing because they bowled brilliantly. The batting card is spelling incredible batting by the two openers, Hanan Riznan and Shafqatullah, 33 and 29 respectively, to get their team home with 10 wickets in hand. What a dominating performance this has been.
No bowlers, obviously, among the wickets. Himal Tental went for plenty, 2 for 20. Rafiullah 1 for 20 in his single over. Kafidun Nami 17 and Utkarsh giving away 8 runs.
Yeah, Rafiullah went for 13 in his first over, and the first ball he bowled became a no ball, so wasn't counted, so 1 over 20 it shows. This was completely dominating performance, and Amerat Royals have forgotten where they have packed their kit of luck. This was a wake-up call for Amerat Royals, for someone who have been toppling oppositions left, right and centre, get one on their way, which is telling them we are here to rule the world. Whenever it was pitch shot, Hanan Riznan never spared the bowlers, and Shafqat as well. Anything in the slot meant it's going to go a long way. Fabulous hitting all throughout, and with drop catches, it made life simpler for both the openers, and Ruby Rangers cruised to victory with 10 wickets in hand. This is the upshot of the game. Amerat Royals winning the toss and saying we'll bat first. 69's all they managed as they were bundled out within the allotted 10. Karan's 21, Shabazz 20 do feature in them, but wasn't enough in the end. Ruby Rangers 70 for no loss as they complete the chase in just 5 overs. Hanan's brilliant 33 and Shafqat's 29 meant this chase was done and dusted in just 5 overs time. Ruby Rangers win by 10 wickets and do a world of good to their net run rate. We'll take a short breather. Don't go anywhere, because on the other side we have the presentation coming up and everybody would want to know who the player of the match is.
Good evening and welcome. What a game we've had. Of course, Amerat Royals were taking on the mighty Ruwi Rangers. Amerat Royals were unbeaten in the tournament, but Ruwi Rangers had different plans. They came out bowling exceptionally well and then chasing that total, that small total, in the matter of 5 overs. Brilliant performance from Ruwi Rangers, and what that has done is it has given Amerat Royals their first defeat. Welcome to the post-match presentation, and with me I've got a special guest tonight. It is Imran Belham, owner of National Concept Engineering and Consultants, and also the co-owner of Cafe Rocket. Welcome and thank you for joining us, Imran. Talking about the man of the match performance, well, it has to be one man who was explosive at the top of the order for Ruwi Rangers. It is Hanan Rizwan, who scored 33 of 16 balls, 3 fours and 2 sixes. He'll be handed the man of the match memento from Imran Belham, and also a gift hamper from Amna Oud. Well done Hanan. Thank you Imran. बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस था आपका. हमने देखा पिछले मैच में भी आपने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग की और आज भी आपने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग की. आपको मौका मिला और उसका पूरा फ़ायदा उठाया आपने, तो खुश होंगे आप अपने परफॉर्मेंस से.
जी इंशाल्लाह. पहले तो अल्लाह का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ कि मैंने परफॉर्म किया. बस आगे इससे भी बेहतर करने की कोशिश रहेगी इंशाल्लाह.
D10 फॉर्मेट ये पहली बार हर कोई खेल रहा है, तो कैसे आप इसको अडाप्ट करते हैं? कैसे आपने इसमें मेहनत की या कोई स्पेशल प्रेपरेशन की इस फॉर्मेट के लिए?
नहीं, बस अपने जो नेचुरल शॉट्स हैं उन्हें किया मैंने, बस यही.
बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस था आपका हनान, और हम उम्मीद करते हैं इसी तरह आप आगे भी परफॉर्म करें.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
So that was Hanan Rizwan, the man of the match for this game. Of course, we've got another game lined up for you, and it's going to be an interesting one. Kurun Thunders are taking on Kuwait Warriors just after a short little break. Stay tuned and do not go anywhere.